Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Corner, where we take the time to speak with Florida Realtors Leadership Academy alumni. I'm your host, Stas Matias, class of 2020, and here with me today we have Carlos Melendez. Hey, Carlos, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Stas, and yourself?
Oh, man, I'm blessed. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
A little bit about Carlos. Carlos has been in the industry for a little over 15 years. His areas of expertise are Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade counties. He is part of the Realtors of Broward, Palm Beach, and St. Lucie Association of Realtors. He graduated class of 2015 with
Best class ever.
the
Had to say that. Had to
yeah,
say it.
yeah. I'm sorry, I should have paused to give you that opportunity. His chair was Rory Durbin, and co-chair was Victor Ramos. So, Carlos, a little bit about you. How'd you jump into the real estate industry?
Well, real estate for me has always been a passion. It's something that I've enjoyed and always had a desire to someday get involved in. Mainly, my main focus early on was I wanted to create my own portfolio, create my own retirement. Early on, before I ever got into real estate, I was in the service industry, was just fresh out of college, and truthfully was just burnt out of being in the service industry, managing restaurants, doing openings and some, that sort of thing. I enjoyed people, always have, always been somebody that just loves being around people. And through discussions, my mother always pushed me, go do the real estate thing, she would say to me. And one day I just, figured, listen to mom, she knows best. Went and got my license, and the rest is history. I've been doing it now for going on 15 years. And, I'm just a little upset I didn't do it sooner. It's honestly been one of the best decisions I've ever done and couldn't imagine doing anything else.
That's awesome. So tell me about Leadership Academy. What made you apply? How did you even hear about Florida Realtors Leadership Academy?
Well, Leadership Academy was something that, I definitely wanted to be a part of. After being in real estate for several years and starting to really do very well at it, I was approached by several different leaders on a local and state level. And they were constantly pushing me to, hey, you really need to get involved. You really need to get involved. And at first, like many realtors out there, I didn't understand what the boards were. I didn't understand the value that they brought other than the MLS. It's sad to say. But, it was something that for me, it was just, I paid dues. I got my MLS services. And, they maybe helped me with a little education, some classes here and there. That's about as far as my knowledge went with the local, state, and national associations. And, this particular mentor and friend, she was part of my office that I was in. And she kept on pushing and saying, you know what, at the very least, come with me to a convention. And that's kind of where my first exposure to the boards really happened. After being exposed to the Florida Realtors convention, I realized that being part of, leadership and really getting involved was far more than just what we really thought on a local level. So from there, I attended Rebar Camp, or the Real Estate Bar Camp, and again, was blown away by all the information that was being shared, all the stuff that I just didn't really know existed. From there, I had the opportunity, based on my discussions in those rooms, to be part of the Take 5 video. And from there, it just really, again, continued to just blow my mind as to all the resources that were available to me that I just really just wasn't aware of. And not because of a lack of information that was being given to me, but just because as realtors, we get really busy with our day-to-day business. And sometimes you see emails coming from a board, your local or state board, and you kind of just glance over it and kind of keep going. You really don't pay much attention to it. So from there, I just realized that, wow, this getting involved stuff, there's definitely a lot of benefit. I met so many great people that year, made so many friends that till this day I still, interact with, share business ideas, and kind of network and go back and forth with people that now I consider family, to be quite honest. So from there, I just got involved, decided that I definitely wanted to be part of committees and so forth, started talking to various different leaders at that time. And they just gave me the opportunity to get involved through YPN and other various committees. From there, I decided that, hey, I got to make an impact on a local level as well, and got involved on a local level. And the rest is history. From there, I just started climbing up the ranks and realized that Florida Leadership Academy was really, if I wanted to get to the next level and really start chairing committees and possibly one day even make it onto the executive committee, that it was definitely a must-do, organization. I really needed to be a part of Leadership Academy and really get that training and that education if I wanted to kind of springboard myself to the next level. And I'm really happy I did, because again, the people that I met are lifelong friends now. You know, there's a reason why we're the best class ever, because, you know, of course, we came up with the best class assignment. But no, all joking aside, it's just, it was great, all the education that I got, learning from some great people and making those relationships. So I really recommend that anybody looking to get involved on a state, local, or national level, definitely look into their leadership academies, whether it be locally, on a state level through Florida Realtors, or on a national level. You know, they all offer their form of leadership academy, and I think that they all bring a unique outlook and a unique set of skills. So definitely recommend it.
Awesome, awesome. I don't know even if you know, but what triggered me for Leadership Academy was back in 2018 when we were at Rebar Camp. That was probably like third year going or something like that. And I remember we were all talking, and at the end, you and Lisa and them were like, you need to get involved. You need to get in on this. And then you guys allowed me to be a facilitator in 2019's Rebar Camp. But I forget if it was you, I forget who it was, but one of y'all told me you got to go through Leadership Academy, and I was just like, oh, I didn't even know what that was.
No, I remember that conversation, and I'm happy you acted on it. You know, a lot of people, you know, they say, yeah, you know, just to kind of continue and get out of the conversation. But I'm happy that you actually took the initiative to act on it, because as you can see, I'm sure you're getting a lot of value out of it. And from your virtual background, I see you've met a lot of great people and made a lot of great relationships.
Yeah, they are awesome people for sure. And I really did appreciate that. I didn't even know Leadership Academy existed. I applied. Unfortunately, I got denied for 2019, but it made me work even harder on the local level. I did the Leadership Academy locally, and then I guess I finally was just ready for the state. And so, you know, I'm blessed to be here for 2020. So definitely great. It all started with Florida Realtors, though, going to Rebar Camp and the YPN. So definitely shout out to you guys for doing such a great job and motivating me to get involved.
No, absolutely. And we look forward to having you again this year at the 2020 Real Estate Bar Camp. Obviously, if you can, I know you guys typically have a meeting during that time, but who knows, maybe Renee will make some things happen and let you guys out a little early to come and participate.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely in. Soon as 2 o'clock hits, I'm bolting on over to you guys. So what would you say you got the most out of what was your favorite? What did you enjoy most about Leadership Academy?
You know, it was a wide variety of different things that we kind of learned throughout the year. Learning the inner workings of Florida Realtors and all the products and tools and really everything that they do for us was eye-opening. Again, a lot of things that we were exposed to that I never even knew existed, and I'm pretty sure the average member doesn't either. You know, from our tech helpline, you know, a lot of people, they think tech helpline and they only think that, hey, you know, it's only real estate related stuff, and that's not the case. I mean, you could call them with a printer issue that has nothing to do with real estate whatsoever, or a phone issue, or nowadays even a Zoom issue, and they're right there to help, you know, to make sure that you're up and running. You know, having our legal hotline. I mean, there's just so many different resources that I can, you know, jump into that I just didn't know existed. Being able to see our facility and being able to see the tremendous amount of, you know, team members that we have that go into our day-to-day, making our lives easier. It was just eye-opening, truthfully, and it was just a great experience to be able to, you know, learn alongside so many great industry leaders and really just learn everything that Florida Realtors has to offer to us.
So take me through your mindset. You interviewed. They said, hey, we want you to be part of Florida Realtors Leadership Academy. Did you set up any expectations? Did you have any expectations of what it would be? And if so, did the Florida Realtors Leadership Academy exceed them?
You know, I didn't. I mean, listen, everybody always, you know, gives you what they think, you know, their opinion and what they feel it's going to be like. When it comes to any type of education, any type of classes, any type of, you know, leadership type of activities and stuff like that, I like to go in with just an open mind. I don't like to have any expectations. I've learned, you know, over years that, you know, creating an expectation can always, you know, create an issue. It might be able to make you feel let down if it doesn't meet what you've created in your head as to, you know, what it is that you're expecting. So I've always been one of those people that I've just, excuse me, I'm sorry, should have muted this here. But yeah, it's one of those things where for me, I wanted to go into it just with an open mind, and really not have much of an expectation, because I just didn't want to be disappointed if it didn't live up to the hype I built up in my head. And I'm happy I did, because, it definitely was an eye-opening experience. There were certain things that, certain people have experienced in previous classes that was totally different for us. Every chair and every vice chair, I think, have a vision as to what Leadership Academy is going to be for them during that year. What kind of a platform they want to stand on, and really what type of education and guidance they want to provide that they feel is relevant at that given time. I mean, listen, our business changes on a day-to-day level. Every year is completely different. I mean, who would have thought that, 2020 would have been a virtual year for us? I mean, we should have been in DC last week, and yet here we were having our annual legislative meetings via Zoom, like you and I are talking now. The real estate lifestyle is a lifestyle of adapting and really just, rolling with the punches. And I'm happy that for that reason, I just went into it with an open mind, and I just, was just willing to accept whatever that class and whatever that program was. And truthfully, I was happy with the results. There were certain things that I felt were amazing. There were certain things that I went into already knowing, but that's okay. It's always good getting a refresher, because sometimes just because you think you know something doesn't mean you know how to do it the right way, or that you're doing it correctly. Right. So it's always good to just, kind of go into it with an open mind, and I'm happy I did.
Awesome. Well, I know you touched on some of this question I'm going to ask you next already. And I've had the pleasure of hanging out with you at midwinter meetings up in Tallahassee for Great American Realtor Day. Obviously, we were going to be in DC this year. Unfortunate, that's not happening. And again, definitely going to see you this year at the convention. But since graduating, what other involvement have you had on the local level, the state level, and even the national level?
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I've been quite involved. For those of you who don't know, that probably meeting me the first time via this Zoom, I'm a broker owner at, private firm, boutique firm here in South Florida. We have just a little over 200 realtors, 3 offices throughout Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. And, aside from that, I have been, as you mentioned, involved on all 3 levels: locally, state, and national. On a local level, currently I'm serving as the first vice president for the board. But since graduating, I mean, I've served on a myriad of levels throughout the board, from different committees that I've chaired to obviously being on different committees. I've served as a regional vice president in the past, as a board of director. Ever since, actually, the year I went into was one of my first years as a director for my local level and the state level. So from there, I've just kind of continued to climb up the leadership ladder. Like I mentioned, currently I'm serving again as the first vice president, which is an executive position. And on a state level, of course, I've been chairing various committees. Currently, I'm chairing the YPN committee, and involved on various other committees that I have the privilege to serve on as well. And then on a state level, again, I'm a board of director I'm a board of director on the state level, but I'm also a board of director on the national level, and serve as an RPMIC committee member. So, I have my hands full. We have quite abundance of responsibilities throughout all 3 factors of our governance structure, and I'm just happy and privileged to do it, and really pleased that I was given the opportunity.
That's awesome. Thanks for all you do. I didn't know you were a director on NAR level as well. That resume, I didn't get a chance to read it all. I'm on page 78 right now.
Nonsense, man, nonsense. But no, yeah, I mean, and aside from that, as you know, I mean, I've been handling the real estate bar camp for several years now, and trying to grow that, and just continue to make it a bigger and better rebar camp every year.
Yeah, last year, the year before was really good. Last year, blown away, and I know this year is going to be even better for sure. So, can you share a moment with your class that you had that was fun, funny, or inspiring? That most stands out to you?
I would say that when we did our public speaking, that was definitely a fun moment, to say the least. You got to see everybody, kind of come out of their comfort zone. At first, go in there a little bit on the nervous side, And then, of course, from there, just come out of their comfort zone and just really just kill it. You know, it was very inspiring because, again, you kind of get to see how some people that really went into it super nervous were probably some of the best speakers out there once they kind of, you know, got out of their own head. So it was just a great day. We had a lot of fun. Obviously, we had a lot of, you know, fun making jabs at each other in a nice, you know, fun way, of course, respectfully. But yeah, I mean, it was just a great time. And of course, it was a skill that till this day I still use on a daily basis. And I'm very privileged and happy that I got the opportunity to learn from some of the best.
Nice. So it's day one. Did you guys do the ropes course?
Yes, we did. And that was a lot of fun also. You know, we went to a local park there in Orlando, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it really, really was. I'm not sure if you guys have done yours yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't want to give up anything.
Yeah, no, we did.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of times, a lot of the exercises were not what you expected. But overall, it was a great bonding experience. It was a great way to kind of learn from each other and kind of really create that trust and bond factor.
Yeah, that's what to say. So it's day one. You're doing the ropes. You just met these people, and did you know people already there, or?
Not really. I mean, I had met, you know, it's like anything else. You meet some people in passing. You kind of get to know each other on a very, you know, just 1,000-foot level basis where you just kind of know who they are, know kind of, you know, what they're about in the sense of the fact that they're on that volunteer journey with you. But, you know, it's really not something where you're, you know, really understanding their ins and outs or really, really knowing them. You just kind of know who they are. And, you know, some of them were already at a level where I was like, wow, you know, this is something I'm going to be learning from. Other people were, you know, starting their leadership journey just as I was. So, you know, it was a great experience, but no, I didn't know everybody when I started.
Yeah, when I don't think I knew anyone in my class either. And you're right. There's so many people on so many different levels. We have a DVP. We have a board president, you know, and people that serve on so many different levels. It's just like, wow, you know, I feel like I was new. I was the newbie. I was the baby in the room, just as far as leadership with Florida Realtors. So it's pretty cool. You get to learn from so many different people, so many different levels. So getting back to your class, what was your class project?
Well, with us, you know, to be honest, our class project was a little bit out there. It was a little bit different. We all did different. How can I'm trying to remember exactly. It's been a little while, going back 2015. Honestly, wow, you're gonna make fun of me, but I really don't remember exactly what our project was.
Uh-oh.
I know, I'm gonna get in trouble here. Man, that's bad. That's really bad. I remember us obviously coming up with different. We all did different facets of it, but man, I honestly can't remember for the life of me.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. Did you have to do the core assessment?
Yes, we did. We did do the core assessment. That was a lot of fun as well.
So if you don't mind sharing, what were you given? Were you like a commander, entertainer, organizer?
I was an entertainer. I was a little bit of a mix, but mainly entertainer.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, what a surprise, right?
Well, you've got a lot of things coming up this year. Since it's been a little bit of a rocky road the past 2 months, everybody's trying to get, you know, back on track. Have you felt that this situation going completely virtual has hurt your business?
Hold on, I remember now our group project.
Okay.
We actually created the pins, the Leadership Academy pins. We were all designing the pins that are now given out, the magnetic pins that we give out.
Okay.
That was actually our class. I can't believe I forgot that. I knew we did something and we all had different facets of our team project, but now I remember exactly. So there you go. See, now I feel better about that. It was driving me nuts for a second there. So sorry, go back to your original question.
Well, I was saying, do you feel that going virtual has really affected your business the past 60 days?
Listen, I'm not going to say it hasn't, because I think that would be, you know, a foolish statement to say that it hasn't affected it at all. I think that like anything else, it's a learning process. I think it's a matter of people getting comfortable and adapting. I will say that it's actually allowed us to identify inefficiencies. It's allowed us to kind of, you know, lean out our expenditures a little bit and really kind of just cut a lot of fat out. It's also allowed us to be a little more efficient. You know, one thing about realtors that I'll say is that, we're a very resilient group of people, and we kind of always, make sure that we make the best out of any situation and always try to come out ahead in any way or shape or form. So I think that for me, especially in my company, it's allowed us to really just evolve. We've always been a very digital company. A lot of our leadership branch in my company specifically are very forward-thinking people. My two partners, despite them being a little bit older than I am, we all bring a different skill set, but they've always embraced technology, embraced the ability to do things, faster, better, stronger, and quicker in the sense of adapting to technology. So for us, we had already been using Zoom and using other digital platforms, as well as being a fully digital paperless company. So for us, the process of adapting and really transitioning to a full digital platform really wasn't too cumbersome for us, because our agents were already somewhat used to it. However, our more seasoned agents that had been used to doing things a more traditional way, them being forced to adapt, was a little more of a process, because now they had to jump on Zoom meetings if they wanted to attend our weekly classes and weekly training and any type of managing meetings and stuff like that. Whereas before, we offered our meetings and our classes and everything via Zoom, but we also had an in-classroom, opportunity where they could always come and be part of the recording versus having to just watch it from home. So for that niche group of people, they had to evolve. Which again, I think was a good thing for them, because it made them have to adapt, have to really, kind of embrace this change. And at the same time, I think it also gave the realization to some people that maybe it was time to kind of go on to the next facet of life and maybe just enjoy life, retire, and kind of just be more referral agents. Because, as this world evolves, if you don't evolve with it, I'm sorry, but you're just going to get ran right over. I think we all experience that, no matter what age demographic you're in. We all kind of experience that as we continue to transition through this business and really grow through the business. That's why, again, I tell all my agents in my company, that's why being involved and always being on that cutting edge, on that next level of what's happening in our industry is so important, because you can blink and really be behind on what's going on in our industry if you don't really pay attention. So yeah, it's been affected. You have sellers and buyers that, have kind of been a little concerned. Rightly so. You have sellers that don't want people in their house, and buyers that don't want to go in people's houses. You have people, unfortunately, not to get into anything political, but the media has really sensationalized this pandemic. Not that it's not, something to be very cautious about, not that it's something we shouldn't take seriously, because I think we really definitely need to. Social distancing is very important, and it's very important to make sure that we're following, all the CDC rules and all of their recommendations. But the reality is that, we're adults, we're smart people. And as long as you're being cautious and being, and doing the right thing, there's no reason why we can't adapt and really still help our consumers, help our sellers, help our buyers, and still conduct business. But I just think that, again, I think that the media has focused so much on the negative, where there's a lot of positive that can be reported, but it's their job to sell advertising space. And unfortunately, good news does not sell advertising space. They want you to be glued to that TV, and the only thing that does that is doom and gloom. So, I think that, again, it's affected, but luckily, again, we've tried to always make sure that we're ahead of the game, and we've educated our consumers that where there's a will, there's a way, and we can make it happen.
I'll tell you what, man, I know some of the people, well, most of the people that know you, they definitely follow you on TikTok. You put together some really funny content, man. I appreciate you putting that stuff out there. I know some days we're just like, man, you hear all this doom and gloom or negativity, and then I see your story on there, and I just click it, and all of a sudden I'm just dying. Like, man, this dude, some of the things you come up with is just hilarious. So I wanted to say thank you for that. I really do appreciate that content.
Man, thank you for your support. I really appreciate, you taking the time and, watching and supporting my content. It's something that a lot of the people early on, looked at me and like, TikTok, that's all 13-year-olds. What are you doing, man? But the reality is, as many have come to discover, TikTok is the next biggest, trend right now. It's 500 million users at any given time are signed on to that app. So really, I tell everybody, embrace it now, because it's going to be the next YouTube and the next Instagram, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the social media aspect, it's a matter of just putting a smile on people's faces. I try to keep it as lighthearted as possible. If I can make fun of myself and in turn bring a smile to anybody, it's a great thing, because truthfully, like you said, it's really a doom and gloom heavy, broadcast out there. Everywhere you look, it's just doom and gloom. And the reality is life is great. As long as you're healthy and you're good and your family's healthy and good, everything else is irrelevant. Everything else will fall in place. You just got to be positive and just smile and laugh, because that's really what life is about. So again, for those that aren't following me, my social handles are right there. You're welcome to jump on board and make some fun of me.
Yeah, I just noticed your RPAC pin there, man. Thank you so much for being a
Yes.
Golden R major investor.
You have to be, man. The pack is what has us being essential. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people think that the realtor pack is either red or blue, and the reality is it's not. It's purple, man. We're all about who the best people are for us, that understand what our mission is, that understand what our goals are, and that are willing to be good allies to the realtor community. That's what our pack is all about, is making sure that we're taking care of our consumers, making sure that we're taking care of the realtor community, and making sure that legislation is fair and that it protects the sanctity of home ownership. You know what I mean? That it makes sure that the dream of home ownership doesn't go away, and the private property rights are always protected. So yeah, man, I do it, and I do it happily. And as far as I can, until I can, I will always make sure I'm at least a golden R or higher. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll even jump up to platinum.
Hey, I've had fun with meeting new people and fighting for realtor rights with you guys as an RPAC major investor myself. For those that don't know what RPAC stands for, it stands for the Realtor Political Advocacy Committee, or Action
Realtor
Committee.
Political Action Committee, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
and for those of you who haven't had an opportunity, head over to Tallahassee next year. Obviously, I know that it's a little too late this year, especially with, this pandemic we're all dealing with, but, head on over to Tallahassee, or if you can, my favorite trip of the year out of all the trips we do, which of course, as I mentioned, was digital this year, is our DC legislative trip. Out of all the conventions, out of all the trips we do, that to me is the most inspiring. It really shows you what it is that RPAC does, at a real, just straightforward level. And, being able to see and really talk and have a conversation with our, senators and our, just everybody through our legislative branch, and being able to see it, see where it happens, be able to go into, such historic places, and learn from the best. It's amazing. It's really just an eye-opening experience. If you haven't done it, I really highly recommend to make that trip happen.
Awesome. Well, hey man, I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. Thanks so much for being a part of my leadership journey. You guys have been a blessing. Your board, you guys embraced me last year and really pointed me and guided me. I'm really, really blessed to have met you, because I met you, then I met Jonathan, and then, everybody else. So thanks again for that.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. We're all part of the realtor family, man. It doesn't matter where you're at in our great state of Florida. As long as you wear that realtor R, you're part of the big family that, we all know and love. So nothing but love, my friend.
Congratulations on getting married too this year.
Thank you.
You guys are such a fun couple, man. And you're blessed, obviously. But thanks again. I'm sure we'll hook up at the convention. I'll definitely see you there. And
absolutely, I hope to see everybody in August. I can't wait for it to actually get out of this house. Get out of this office I'm in constantly, and really get to see everybody. It's hard for Puerto Ricans like me, man. We're very loving and physical people. We like to give hugs and kisses, and this digital stuff just ain't cutting it.
Well, thanks again, man. We'll definitely catch up, and you guys stay safe and healthy out there.
Sounds great, man. And congratulations to the 2020 leadership class. I know you guys will be doing great things, and can't stress it enough. Thank you for your volunteerism. Thank you for your leadership journey, and I can't wait to see you all graduate.
Awesome, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Be good.
All right.